Hey guys, sorry for being a little late here. I had a little bit of malfunction trying to get our live stream up this morning, but I wanted to start off by saying thank you for joining us. Hopefully you're still here. Today we're going to be talking about how to create freedom with automation. So just to kind of start off, so I usually try to bring up the Processology formula just because that's really an important part of what we do here at Processology. It has to do a lot with creating freedom for entrepreneurs and really putting processes in place within your business that allow you to have your freedom. And so some of the ways that we do that is with automation. And a lot of that also is just with creative processes, trying to simplify the process as much as possible for the user. So let me jump over to the Processology formula. So on the Processology formula, we've talked about this quite a few times where we've talked about a little bit on attracting your clients. So the big thing is really to focus on trying to figure out what your process is, right? Lay that down, lay that process down, make it as simple as possible. And then once you have a simple process, then the goal would be to figure out, okay, now that we have this process and it's simple, what can we do to start automating that process, right? So, and what we're going to go through right now is talk about each one of these stages and some of the things that you can do to start automating that process. So, for example, when you're looking at attract, and in some of our later videos, guys, we're going to start bringing up some more samples. We're still working out some of the bugs with this program since it is in beta still. I'm trying to make sure that everything is functioning correctly. But we will go back through a lot of this stuff as well and really try to bring you a little bit more value with visuals and actually showing you some examples of some of the campaigns that we're talking about. But some of the things that I want to talk about automating is, for example, let's say you're at a networking event and let's say you're speaking to 25 potential clients and you're talking to them about your service. And let's say you want to try to get their contact information, right? So you have a couple of options. You can say, hey, go to my website, right? But the odds of people actually going to your website is very rare, very low. And so the other option is you can offer something for free, like an opt-in or something of that sort. Maybe that will get them to go to the website a little bit more. And if you're trying to get them to schedule a call or something of that sort. So while both of those are not bad options, I mean, obviously getting traffic to your site, getting them to hear more about what they're there to listen to you speak about is beneficial. But we want to use but he does coaching, speaking, and training with leadership, sales, and communication. So if you guys have not heard of Drew Jackson, I definitely recommend you guys check him out at drewtjackson.com. So. But Drew's pretty awesome. We worked on putting some processes in place to help him with a similar problem. And one solution that we came up with is text messaging. So using text messaging feature to say, hey, text your first name and email to this number and get my free guide. And what that did was allow him to, speak to people on the go. Even if he's sitting at the airport and he's talking to somebody, hey, yeah, just text this to my number and you'll get my free guide. Or if you're in an event full of 20, 40, 50 people, you can tell the whole room, hey, text your name and number, pull out your phone right now, text your name and number to this phone number and get your free guide right now. And see like the power of that and how many people you can get to do that, right? If you have a room of 25 people and you get 15 people that actually pull their phone out and they're listening to you and they're engaging with you, because right now you have them excited, you have them in a hot seat, right? So this is the time to get that information. So you want a way that you can quickly get that information. So now using that same example, what happens when you get the information, right? Because they just opted in a text message. So you have their cell phone number, you have their name, and you have an email for them, right? So that's very powerful, right? That's really good contact information for you. Now, you send them a free guide, so now they're getting some value from there. So what do you do after that? Do you want to call them? Do you want to Send them more email follow-ups, more text messages. How do you want to communicate with your client, right? So from this point, now you have them as a lead. You want to turn them into a prospect, so you need to qualify them to see if they are a good fit for your company. So maybe one thing is to offer them something else for free. It could be a free consultation, maybe a free 20-minute, 45-minute, however long you want to do it, consultation with you, and just offer them value. Or maybe it is more that you are, giving them something. Maybe you say, hey, if you like that guide or that video series or whatever it is you gave them for the first opt-in, check this out. You're going to really love this. And instead of asking for their name, phone number, and email, you already have their email, right? You already have their name. You already have their phone number. So now what I'm going to ask them for is, hey, in order to get this, tell me a little bit about your business. How many employees do you have? If you're B2B, it depends on what's relevant to you, obviously. But it's important to, kind of pull a little bit more information out. We don't need that information, again, because we already have it, right? So now we're going to pull out information. Like, for example, here at Processology, we're going to ask you things like, what size company do you have? Are you currently using automation? What softwares are you using? Because we want to know the best way we can help you. What's your number one challenge? That's a big one for us. So we're going to ask questions like that. So tell me your number one challenge, and I'm going to give you something for free. Right? So you can really start to see the power of automation, because not only can you automate that often, once you tell them, hey, text this to this number, or even if it was an email text, hey, go to this, short link, and put your email in to get this free information. So there's a lot of opportunities there. So now that you have the name, now that you have the email, now that you have their cell phone number, what next, right? So you put them in a sequence, or you put them in some type of campaign that says, we sent them this guide, wait 24, 48 hours, and then offer them this guide. And then maybe after they have that guide, maybe ask them for some feedback. If they engage with that feedback, then what? Maybe invite them to a phone call, right? And get them on the line and say, hey, I see that you've downloaded this guy, you've downloaded that guy, and you gave some really good feedback. I want to see, are you implementing these tools into your business? Or would you like help implementing these tools into your business, right? So you can automate the entire process from the time you tell them the entire scheduling process, right? So send them an email, hey, click on this link to schedule a call with me. And the goal is really about creating a customer journey or path that is predictable, right? So I know the client's coming in A. For clients that are coming into funnel A or process A, the goal is to get them to Z, right? We want to get them to the end of the line. And so you really want to thoroughly design a process that leads them straight to that goal. You don't want them to start going down all these other paths and getting confused with other opt-ins. So like, for example, what we put together at Processology is we ask what your number one challenge is. And we try to do our best to feed you down a path that educates you on that challenge, right? Because we want to provide relevant information to you. And so at some point, though, obviously we want to talk to you. We want to see if our services will be a fit for your business, right? So that's our end goal. Our goal is to help you, educate you, get you where you need to be. And you can take that information and do it yourself, and there's no hard feelings, right? That's okay. If you want to figure out and do it yourself, there's no problem with that. Our ideal customer doesn't want to do it themselves. They want to focus on their business. They want to focus on growing, and they will let somebody else handle the technical stuff, the IT stuff, the design stuff, whatever that may be in their business. And so we don't mind offering free value. And then for the clients that are looking for someone to help them implement automation, help them implement a processes in place that will create freedom and success. So now that we have this process laid out, right? Now, so what if you have another product? So you lay it out again, product B, process B, right? So you lay that out, and the clients are going to go down this path. Maybe they're getting an e-guide, maybe they're watching a video series, maybe they're getting offered to a webinar, whatever it may be. Now, let's say you're brick and mortar, though, right? So I'm talking a lot about webinars and things like that. Now, even if you're brick and mortar, you can still offer these online services like webinars to educate your clients. You can still offer opt-ins to educate your clients. For example, you can have a sign in your building or office that says text this number for discount codes, right? So once they text their name, email to the number, now you put them in a campaign and you tag them to start sending them. I'm sorry, not tag them. You put them in a list to start sending them coupon codes as they come up, or discounts, or special offers, or events, whatever that may be, right? Now you have the contact information as a brick and mortar that's powerful for you, because if you have a sale, you can promote that, right? Now, one of the things I do want to make clear, just because I don't want, Processology is what it sounds like, right? We focus on your process. Automation is just a way, it's just one of the resources that we use to try to create a process that can provide freedom. So, so whether you're brick and mortar or you are a online business, it doesn't matter. You still have to have a process, right? Any business has to have a process. Now, your process may have to be different than someone else. Actually, most of our clients, excuse me, in most cases, the processes are different. They may be similar, but different. The big thing for us is just really a big part of it is your big dream. What's your end goal? What are you trying to do, right? Do you want to work for the rest of your life? Or are you trying to create some freedom so you can retire and live the good life, right? What is it that you're trying to do? Are you just trying to make modest income just so you can provide for your family? Whatever that big dream is, we tailor your process to that. And we feel that that is very important for your happiness, for the happiness of your family, for everything in your life, right? For you to do the things you want to do. It's really about that big dream and trying to figure out how. So you're using text message, you're using email campaigns. So with Attract, you still have your opt-ins with your email, your forms, and things like that. But one of the things that I personally do and that I offer to some of my clients is I create a form that's just for me, internal form, that if I'm at a networking event, I can just get a business card from somebody. If I'm talking to them and they sound like they're a good fit for my business, or I want to reach out to them, I plug them into this form and ask for their name, phone number, and email, which I get off their business card, and it invites them to a meeting, all automated, right? So as soon as I plug that information in and press submit, it waits a couple of hours and it sends them an email or a text message or whatever I have set up for the particular process, and it'll say something like, "Hey, it was nice meeting you at the event today. I wanted to see if you'd be interested in grabbing a cup of coffee. I would love to hear more about your business and your big dream." So by getting that kind of information and then having the power of the right process and the automation is going to be huge for you. Because imagine if you're at a networking event and you talk to 10 or 15 people at that event, right? What happens a lot? We get business cards and then we put them in our pockets and we probably never see them again. They get lost in the washing machine. They get lost, at the bottom of our bags. Or they're sitting in our wallet forever, right? So the goal is, as soon as you get that card, plug it in into your quick form. Three fields, or some of my clients, they prefer a few more fields. Typically what we'll do is we'll do more fields, just won't make them required. That way, if you can gather that information through conversation, for example, if you figure out that they're most interested in one focus within your business, right? So let's say you're into speaking and you speak about healthcare and you speak about weight loss. Let's just say things like that. And I say they're really focused on weight loss, right? So you might want to plug their information in and click their interest type as weight loss. And then that way, when you follow up with them, you can say in the email, you can automate, "Hey, I really would love to talk to you more about your weight loss goals or about your health goals," right? So that way you can really start to personalize the message. And then not only that, it helps you segment your list as well. So if you want to send them information that's relevant to their interest, that's a good way to do it. So as much information you can plug in, obviously, for the customer is great. I believe in keeping it simple. Don't add too much, because this is something you want to be able to plug in real quick and move on. So something that way it doesn't take too much of your time. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to put it off and you're going to forget, you're going to lose the business card, and then you're back at the same spot where you started. So real simple, grab the business card, plug it in, move on. The system will handle the rest. Even take them in processes that I do for my clients. or that we do for here at Processology, is that we even automate the scheduling process. So from the time we submit that button, they're going to get an offer email. If they don't reply or answer within, if they don't take our call to action within 24 to 48 hours, 48 hours, then typically what we'll do is send them another email. Hey, it was really nice talking to you. I want to see if you will be interested in that to grab a cup of coffee or to jump on a Zoom meeting or something of that sort. And then if they take action, then we take them to a landing page where they literally fill out a questionnaire in order to request that call, or we send them directly to not a questionnaire, we send them directly to a calendar page. Now, depending on your business, you can send them to a questionnaire or something of sorts. But in this case, where you're really just trying to get in front of them, you don't want to have them do too much, right? Because you don't want them to scare them off. You don't want to ask them to do too much. So sending them to your scheduling page, letting them pick a time to talk to you is perfect. So once they pick that time to talk to you, you maybe at that point ask one or two more questions if you want to try to get a little bit more information. And then all that information is automatically entered into your CRM system, wherever you're managing your customers, whether that be something like Entreport, Infusionsoft, HubSpot, or some of the other CRMs like Zoho CRM, SalesMate, and those kind of things. So no matter where you're having your stuff, you want to definitely make sure that you have an automated way to get your calendar information into that system. Now, the beauty of that is, as you're meeting these 10 people at your networking event, and you submit the form, your system goes to work. 2 hours later, they get an email. If they follow your call to action from the first email, they go to the page, they schedule their talk with you. You meet them for coffee, you talk about business. Boom, great. Now what, right? So what I recommend is having some type of meeting outcome. What are the ideal ways? What are the most likely ways, right? So they can not go with your service. Maybe they're interested in 6 months. They're not interested today. And maybe they're ready to roll, right? So I would have some type of way to record my outcome, and then, or some type of next steps that maybe puts them into a campaign to get them rolling. Now, if they're ready to roll and get a proposal now, then great. Hey, market mess, prepare a proposal, send a proposal, make your money, right? And you can really see the value in how you did a lot of that freely, because while they were getting that email, while they were scheduling, while they were doing all that stuff, you were just living your life, or while working with other customers, doing networking events, whatever it is that you do in your free time. So that's really nice. So now let's talk about offer a little bit. So when we are talking about our offer campaign, this really comes into how are you going to actually offer a paid product to your client. So Attract is more about the free information that you're getting. You're just trying to get that lead, right? You're trying to get their name, their email, or whatever information you can get to qualify them as a potential prospect. But now you want to offer them your service. Typically what I do, but what I like to do is put customers into some type of campaign. Once they opt in, they go into a nurturing campaign, typically something based off of their interest type, right? So for example, here at Processology, we typically will ask you what's your number one challenge. And then we're going to put you in a campaign that is talking to you about your number one challenge. Well, while yes, we want to offer you tons of value that you can take yourself and do yourself, or you can hire us to do, the goal obviously is, in order for us to stay in business, we need to generate revenue. So part of our goal is to give you as much value for free as possible, but then offer to help you figure out, to clarify your strategy, offer you services to actually implement the strategy we come up with. So we refer to your strategy as your game plan. So we help you come up with a game plan. And then once we have the game plan, we help you implement that game plan. So, but we have a lot of people that use our services, that people that are on our inner circle, people that are in some of our other avenues like social media and stuff, that will repost information. They will take that and they'll attempt to do it themselves. That's perfectly fine. But there are some clients that don't want to do it themselves, or they want the experience of someone that does this for a living. And that's where we come in. So typically, we're going to take you through that. And every now and then, we're going to offer you a discovery call. And the discovery call, the point of that is to really learn more about your business and what it is you need to do, right? So we qualify you as a prospect at this point. And then we offer you our service. Can we help you do that? We think that we can do this for your business. We believe that putting this in place would totally solve your problem. We can do that for you. And so we start to offer things like our Kickstarter program, which is something new that we're just now doing for smaller businesses that just want to try to get their feet wet and see what the right process and automation can do. So it's just like, before you jump in the pool, services as well, which are pretty simple for the most part as far as explaining them. They're for the most part fairly simple. So we do offer the game plan, as we talked about. The game plan is all about your strategy, right? So it's all about helping you come up with a strategy that is going to create freedom and success in your business. So your big dream comes into play a lot there. And so that's one of the things that we want to put in place. So once we do a discovery call, if somebody's interested in the game plan, we want to continue to offer that to them, right? So we want to tag them as potentially interested in the game plan, and maybe even put them in a campaign that nurtures on them about the importance of game plan and the importance of having a process in place that is designed with your big dream in mind. So that's one thing. We have the creator. The creator is a monthly service where it's all about strategy and implementation every month, where we meet and we talk with you every month about it. So anyway, I don't want to go through all these services because this is not to sell anything. I'm just explaining. I just want to make clear like how we use it and how you can use it. So you get your different products and you want to offer that to them based off of their interest or based off of their activity. You want to try to figure out which is the best product, right? So for example, if you are in, let's say you own a gym, for example. So chances are you don't have a lot of products, which is probably a good thing because the more products, the more complicated it can get. But let's say you have a couple of different membership types. Let's just say 3 right now. Maybe one works very well for individuals that want to lose weight. Maybe one product works very well for elderly individuals. And maybe one works very well. Actually, one of my clients, they focus a lot too on mothers, so busy mothers. Their gym specializes in fitness that doesn't require a lot of time to work out. Actually, it's like 15 minutes a week or something like that, which is pretty cool. I've personally done it myself. It's a pretty cool experience. And at first I didn't believe it, but it actually does work you out pretty well. Anyway, so you have your 3 products and you want to figure out, okay, what's their interest so I know which product to offer to them, right? So maybe as you're gathering information from them, you're saying, what are you most interested in? Losing weight, getting stronger, or fitting a workout into your busy schedule, right? And based off of what their response is tells you what campaign to put them in or what type of advertising to send to them or what messages will work for them and what won't, right? So that becomes very powerful, and you can automate all of this and then automate those campaigns that follow. Automate the campaigns that say, hey, sign up for your membership now. Here's a link to our sign up page. All that can be done and automated. And if you are working with us, we totally try to find softwares that are going to work best for you. We use Entreport personally just because you can do a lot of your e-commerce, a lot of your landing pages, a lot of your automation, and CRM customer management stuff inside of one system. You're not jumping all over the place. While like for us, we do use several different systems that are automated to make certain things happen. We only work out of one system. So those other systems are mainly are in the background. They're not something we log into every day. They're not something we have to pay attention to. Excuse me, guys. That's something we have to pay attention to very much. So now we kind of have an idea on how to offer our products, right? So we send them, we offer the product to a customer based off their interest. We send them to a page to purchase. They purchase that product. If they don't purchase, then we say, hey, we noticed you visited our landing page, but you didn't purchase. Do you have time for a talk, or do you have any questions? Is there anything I can answer for you, right? Maybe send them a couple emails like that, kind of in a sense like some abandoned cart type of campaign. And then after that, we want to go into our delivery campaign, right? Our deliver. So this is really how we deliver our service. So let's say your customer purchases, right? So we've automated attracting, we've automated offering our product. But now we want to automate how to deliver our product to our customer. So this is really good. So depending on your system, obviously, because some systems have capabilities, some don't, you can automate that entire process. They purchase the product, you deliver the product. Now that may be putting them into a fulfillment list, so that information, automating the fulfillment process, so that automation goes in the fulfillment list. And maybe you're sourcing that out to a third party, or maybe you're doing it in-house, so you want to send it to a certain department so they know, hey, send this to this person. And then maybe the other option is maybe you're delivering a digital product or access to digital content. If that is the case, then you can automate the delivery of that, right? Send them a username, send them a link to the website, send them, let them know what they're getting, send them a thank you for signing up kind of thing. Then maybe put them in a campaign that is wowing them, which we're going to talk about in the Impress, because we consider Impress, not wowing. But so now we're delivering, right? So we're delivering those products. Now, maybe you actually physically ship something, because that's where your fulfillment list is going to come in. And I don't know, I know Infusionsoft and Entreport both offer fulfillment options in order to automate putting them on a fulfillment list or whatnot. I'm not sure about some of the other ones. We would have to do a little research to figure out if they would fit within your process or not. But what I can tell you is that with technology today, almost anything is possible. So, so now you're automating that delivery. So in the sense of, let's say we use example of a gym earlier, your customer goes and they purchase a membership, right? So now you want to deliver that membership. So you need to give them some type of access to schedule their sessions. Or you need to at least let them know how to schedule their sessions. Maybe they call you, maybe they can go onto your calendar and schedule themselves. However they do that, you want to deliver email content that's telling them what to do in order to gain access to the service that they just purchased of the membership. Now, what about if you have a customer that purchases your product and they're done, right? Because that's how most businesses work, right? So you have a customer that purchases your product and they're done. That's it. Nothing else to do. Well, what if now you cross-sell them to something that is more, that matches? So for example, let's say, or you can even offer something else, right? Put them in a different campaign. They purchase a membership, they're an active member. Now what do we want to offer them? Maybe you're going to offer to buy a membership for a friend or family member. Hey, are you enjoying your workout? You know, help a friend or family member be more healthy, you know, or be healthier, sorry. So you can really get creative and really start to figure out, again, like I said earlier, building that customer journey that is predictable, right? That process that is predictable. Like this is what we want to happen. We want to send them this. We want them to opt in here, right? So maybe you have 2 or 3 opt-ins. And based off that, that's funneling them to my main offer, which is 3 products. They're going to purchase one of the 3. Based off of that 3, I'm going to deliver the product to them. And then once that I've delivered that product, right, then let's go over to our Impress. So when we get to talking about Impress, we really want to continue to impress them with our service. So that can be in many different ways. I'm going to use a gym as an example, since that's what I've been talking about. But maybe we're going to send them free health tips, you know, every other day, or maybe even if you want to get crazy, maybe every morning. You can send them a live stream or something of that sort to that list of people, access, and say, hey, wake up guys, work out, do that thing you said you were going to do last night, do one, you know, whatever it is that you want to say to your client. Or maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once a month. It doesn't have to be crazy, it's something once a day. But my point is, you want to make sure you're impressing them. Maybe your way of impressing them is to send them a free t-shirt. They signed up for a membership, maybe at month 3, after you've received a little bit of money for your membership payments. Now you have some profit in your pocket. So maybe I'm saying, hey, they seem to be committed at least 3 months in. I'm going to send them a tank top or some type of shirt with my logo on it. Or maybe I'm going to send them a cup or something that they can put, have the water in when they're working out. Whatever it might be, right? Now you have that ability to do that. And again, you can automate that fulfillment. Say, hey, this person has been an active member for 3 months. put them in a fulfillment list to get a t-shirt. So maybe you want to say, you know, before you do that, maybe one of your impress emails, you say, hey, we want to send you something for free. What's your shirt size, right? They tell you the shirt size. You record that in your system, and that's part of your automated process. When you put this in a fulfillment, you send the shirt size with it, right? This is also a good way if you do not already collect their mailing address. This is a great way for you to get their mailing address, right? So now you can start sending them printed content and ads if you like. Now, this can all go a step further because as you're collecting this information, you have a lot of data, right? So you can really start to target things down and say, okay, well, based off of my current clientele, most of them are on the West Coast. So that's who's buying. Even though we're advertising everywhere, people on the West Coast are buying. Maybe want to do a little research, figure out why, right? Maybe there's some adjustments you can make to get the other regions to start buying. Or maybe your product just relates better with the crowd on the West Coast. So maybe you want to start to market more there, maybe focus more there, try to get more clients there because obviously your name is starting to become a big deal over there. You're starting to get clients over there, so on. So you can really use that data to really figure out what's going on, like down to the zip code, down to the address, down to the person, the type, right? You can ask all kinds of things. Are you married? Do you have kids? Maybe 75% of your clientele is married, right? So when you go to do your advertising, your marketing, hey, you might have a good, chance of doing some more conversions if you focus on married individuals. So just anyway, my point is you can collect data like that and use that kind of data to become very powerful for your business. And all of this, everything that we've talked about today, I would say 90 to 95% of it is automated, which is the beauty of what we're talking about today, right? Creating freedom with automation. So we talked about impress, and there's many ways you can impress. It just depends on your business type. It depends on your goal. It depends on what you're willing to offer. There's so many different ways. There are companies out there that this is what they do. You source them out and they send your stuff. If you want to send pens, notebooks, paperwork. There's an app actually that I use sometimes called, I think it's called Thinks, I want to say. And then it's not automated, but my point is you can go on there and send gifts to your clients, send Starbucks cards to your clients. I think you can just do all kind of really cool things. It's a pretty awesome app. So from some of your bigger clients, maybe you want to send something a little bit more valuable to them that really shows your appreciation for the business. That might be a good app to look into. Now we're going to get over to mood, right? So we've attracted our customer, we've offered our product, they purchased, so we delivered our product, and then we send them a little bit of extra, whether that's information on a physical product or whatever it may be, offering them access to an event or something. Now we want to know, what's your mood? How did you feel about our service? How did you feel about the product you purchased, right? Like whatever it is the questions you want to know, this is very valuable for you. Not only because you now, the next stage is asking for a referral, but also this lets you know if you need to make any tweaks. Maybe your customer service is very well, or maybe you have amazing customer service, right? So one of the things that we do here with Processology is that we ask you, what's your mood, right? We send you an email. Is it fantastic, happy, or sad, right? So it gives them 3 options. If it's sad, immediately we have a task assigned to a user, one of our team members, to give that person a call and say, hey, we see that you were not happy with our service, you were not happy with whatever it may be. How can we make that better? That it's just not acceptable, and we want to make sure that you have a smile on your face. Guys, and sometimes, obviously you can't do this all the time, you can't take losses. Sometimes it's worth taking the loss as the business to put a smile on your customer's face, because bad news travels way faster than good news. So if you can figure out a way to rectify that, I definitely recommend doing that. So anyway, so if they say happy, we're going to send them to a landing page. Either way, they're going to a landing page, either one of these 3. Because if they're sad, we're going to ask them why they're sad. So we have a better understanding. We're going to follow up and we're going to try to resolve it if we can. If they're happy, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to send them a landing page. Hey, great. It's nice to hear that you're happy. And we're going to ask them a question, though. What can we change? What can we improve on to make you fantastic, right? Because happy it's great, but we want our customers to feel fantastic, right? So we're going to ask them that question. Then if they go to fantastic, then we say, hey, we're super excited that you're fantastic, and that is just amazing. Can you give us a testimonial? Let us know why. What did we do that impressed you? What about Processology made you feel fantastic, right? And then we ask them a little checkbox. We say, hey, do you mind if we use this in public? Can we submit this to use for our website, on our social media? Can we tell people about this? Is that okay? If they check the box, yes, great, right? Now we just got some trust and credibility that we can use other places, right? On social media, hey, buy my product. John said, it did this for his business, right? It's just awesome. So the beauty, again, is that it's automated, right? So this whole process of sending that email out, from getting that response to asking, can we use it? All that is automated, right? It's awesome. So then you want to go to referrals. So here at Processology, we typically only ask for referrals if they say that they're fantastic. Then we put them on referrals. Now, some of my clients will do happy as well. There's nothing wrong with that. You can definitely do happy. Happy and fantastic customers will definitely spread your name. Fantastic customers, they're so excited about the outcome of their service and the process because it's really life-changing. It's really helping them, in our case, create freedom and success, that they want to spread the word anyway. So when we ask for referrals, hey, do you know anyone that could benefit from our service? Do you know anyone that could use freedom in their life right now? That anyone that's an entrepreneur that could use freedom in their life, because we only work with entrepreneurs, but business owners. So, and if they do, right, because usually business owners don't know other business owners, they say, yeah, I know so-and-so. So they can put in that email, they can go on the form and say, yeah, Scott is a good fit. I think that this would benefit him. So here's the contact information that I have on him. I'll let him know that. So we may even ask on that landing page, hey, do you mind sending him an email and let him know we're going to be reaching out to him and talk to him about it? They may be willing to do that. If they feel fantastic, chances are they don't mind helping you grow. So, you reach out to Scott and you say, hey, Scott, I work with John, and he was so happy and he felt very fantastic about what we did for him and felt that you would be a good fit for our service. Here's what we do, right? We create freedom and success for entrepreneurs through creative process and automation. And I wanted to see, does this sound like something you're interested in? Can we talk a little bit more about how we can help you grow your business, but create freedom at the same time? So, and if Scott is like, yeah, I'm definitely interested in that, right? So what do I do then? I create an account for Scott, right? I set up a campaign for Scott, and I put Scott, once I talk to Scott and I find out what Scott's interested in, everything that's going on, maybe I send him on the same route. Hey, Scott, it sounds like you're interested. Let me give you a link to our discovery page so you can schedule a call, and we'll make all this happen and see if we can get you the same kind of results we got for John. Automated, right? All automated. Up until the point that you actually reach out to that referral that you received. Your attract, your offer, your delivery, your impress, your mood, and your refer is all automated. Again, you can't automate everything. I'm not going to say you can. You can, depending on your business type. But, in most cases, you want to be somewhat involved because you want people to feel like they're still talking to a person. So it's very important that when you're building out a system and you're putting your process together, that you try to keep as much personality into it as possible, right? You want to try your best to keep this valuable, but still personable, if that makes sense. Because you want them to feel like they're talking to a real person, they're relating, right? So it's very important to make sure that you're using their names. You're trying to, that you're using information they gave you, like their interest type. You're putting that in the emails. Hey, I'm really excited to talk to you, John, about weight loss. I know you said that's one of the things that you want to work on, that you want to focus on. I would love to talk to you. Do you have some time? Here's a link to my calendar, right? That's great, right? You put a little personality in there. So guys, that's, in a nutshell, that's how you automate. That's how you can use automation to create freedom in your business. Obviously, there's a lot more to the processes. There's a lot to making all this happen. And again, like I said, we will be actually walking through some campaigns in the future. That's one of the big things I want to do is really walk through you guys. We're probably going to be using Entreport and maybe even some stuff with Infusionsoft, since we do work with, we have accounts with both of those companies currently. So we may go ahead and work with both of them. Excuse me. So we will walk through and see what it looks like to create a simple campaign for Attract. Because when it comes to these stages, they can be very simple or they can be extremely complicated, right? So it really just depends on your needs and what your goals are and what your big dream is. So guys, as always, this is Michael with Processology, where we realize your big dream of both freedom and success in your business through creative processes that save you time and make you bank. So if you guys like this information, please continue to watch this, continue to subscribe to this membership. If you have suggestions on different topics, you can definitely email us with that information, and just make sure you put in the subject Freedom for Our Inner Circle. And then we will get that information. Maybe there's something specific you want to talk about. Maybe you're having a hard time with figuring out a process for your business. We can jump on a discovery call and see if we can help you come up with something. And it would be very good content for this inner circle as well. So we may be able to help you come up with a process that may benefit other members in this group. So anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of our presentation today. Into this meeting, we will have another one coming up. Let me see here what the next date is. So the next one is going to be on August 23rd, and we are going to be talking about how to create freedom for your sales team. And so one of the things that we're going to be focusing on is really how to use automation to help your sales team with tasks and calls, and making sure those reminders are set, and making sure customers aren't just not being followed up with, and as well as figuring out a way to clean your list, right? We'll probably talk a little bit about some lead scoring as well, how you can help your sales team through automation and actions taken by your customer change their lead score, right? So the higher the better, right? So if they higher lead scores, maybe you can filter that within a contact list and say, show contacts to Michael for any leads that have a lead score of 80 to 100, right? So those leads are more back in the comments, or send us feedback at processology.com. All right, guys, have a good one. I hope you enjoy today, August 9th. It's a Thursday. We're almost done with the week. And so hang in there and get out there and make that bank. All right, guys.